Say, you haven't been to Universal Studios for a while, have you?
Universal Studios? No, I guess I haven't had a lot of free time lately.
Well, it's not the Universal you remember. So, you think you'd like to see it in person?
Absolutely. How about right now?
Yeah! The new
There is a lot to be excited about in the future. New movies, new games, new roller coasters, and the long-awaited return of some beloved roller coasters. But if you were to ask us what we're most excited about in the upcoming years, without a doubt, it would be Universal's new and upcoming park, Epic Universe.
For those of you out of the know, Universal is building a brand new theme park in Orlando set to open in the summer of 2025. Universal, ever since the initial announcement, has been pretty quiet about the whole thing, but they have just been cranking out progress for this park at just a crazy rate.
Although Universal has yet to confirm what many of these lands are going to be, based on construction and what we've seen from the initial concept rendering, we pretty much know what all of these lands are going to be. And there's a huge thanks out there to Theme Park Stop for providing such a helpful series giving the overview and details of each of these new lands coming to Epic Universe. So today, we are going to be ranking each of the new lands coming to Epic Universe based on how excited we are for each of them. So, without any further ado, let's get into our ranking.
You're not Jimmy.
First up, we have the central hub of the park. However, just because this land is at the bottom doesn't mean that we're not excited for it. This looks to be, at least from the concept art, to be one of the coolest looking hubs of any theme park. You got like all these waterfalls, grand fountains, these cool glass walkways. It looks to be themed to like astronomy with like a hint of steampunk herbs and spices thrown in.
This central hub is going to be the home of many of the park's restaurants and central shops. There's even going to be a hotel connected to the far side of the hub. And this brings us to the rides.
There's going to be 2 rides, one just like a carousel flat ride, which is good for the kids, you know. But there's also going to be a multi-launched Mock Rides roller coaster that duels. It is now the spiritual successor of Dueling Dragons for all of those who are mad about Hagrid's being, oh, it's not as good. Shut up.
Honestly, it is one of the rides that we are most excited for coming to this park.
There's this cool new patented element of like this half airtime hill, half roll. It looks super cool, and I don't know if it's gonna top Velocicoaster, I don't know. But just the dueling aspect, being that close to other people, I think it's gonna shoot up the list, if you know what I mean.
Sure, I know what you mean.
Oh yeah.
Which takes us to the next land.
I don't say blah blah blah.
Next up, we have an area centered around Universal's classic monsters. And to a lot of people, this might be their most anticipated land. But to be honest, we've never really had the same attachment to Universal's classic monsters unless we are talking about the classic, the cinematic masterpiece of The Mummy, 1999.
Starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz.
Yes, it is one of the best movies of all time.
Of course.
Thank you very much. This lack of emotional connection to the IP might be the reason why this isn't the park or the land that we're most excited for, but this does not mean we are not going to enjoy this land, and that it is not going to be a good land in the park.
It looks really
It looks really good, to be honest. Honestly, I'm excited for all the lands. It's just ranking the order. That's what we're doing here, so we're doing it.
We're doing it. There's going to be 2 rides in this land, 1 dark ride and 1 roller coaster. The dark ride is rumored to be like those Kuka arm systems, which is the same as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, but it's going to be like a new version of the arm where you're not just in this box anymore. You can actually like look around you. Which
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be using a lot more of live sets in this ride,
Than
which
just the screen.
than just the giant dome screen that you get in the Forbidden Journey, which I'm definitely a fan of. Not that there's anything wrong with using the screen, but I definitely prefer more live props and live sets.
there will also be a family multi-launch spinning coaster, which spinning coasters, like, I'm not the most crazy about, but like, a coaster's a coaster. you
A
know?
coaster is a coaster. What I'm most excited for in this land, though, I think, is the land itself, because it's centered around a paranoid village, and they're expecting monsters to come attack them. At least that's what we think it's going to be centered around. So I just imagine a lot of live actors going around,
You're
like
going,
staring,
"Oh."
staring people down, being like, "Are you a monster? Are you a monster?" And just general shenanigans in
Yeah.
that way. I'm very excited for that. So yes, that
That.
is the classic Monsters Land. Moving on to the next one.
Magic. It was something that Harry Potter thought was very good.
Next up, we have the newest addition to the trilogy of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the final, maybe.
This new land will most likely be the Ministry of Magic, which will be a very fine and cool addition to the
Yes.
Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
It's rumored to have like two parts. The main part will be like Wizarding France, which is like the Fantastic Beasts movie, which
I don't really care about.
I don't really care about, but the ride itself will transport you through Floo Powder to the British Ministry of Magic, like entering the atrium, which I think that might give me some goosebumps. The main attraction here is going to be a Scoop dark ride, which the Scoop is like, you know, the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, the Jurassic World ride from Beijing, very much that kind of dark ride, and it's supposed to have like this new elevator technology because you're supposed to be like traveling through the Ministry elevators. I mean, seeing the latest dark ride similar to this with the Jurassic World in Beijing, it looks amazing. So I expect it to be on that same level. At least I hope so, Universal. Come on.
So, that is why we are very excited for this land. Maybe not as excited as some of the lands coming up, because we've already had Harry Potter lands in the past, and while it is the fine addition, the parks that or the new lands that are coming up, we are very excited because they will be brand new experiences for us, which brand new and on IPs that we are very attached to and excited for. So, let's go on to those ones.
At least we know where the princess is. But where's the
Moving on to our number 2 most anticipated land is How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, come on.
Come on, it just begs being a land in the theme park. Because you got dragons, which will be just the perfect roller coaster element. You've got giant rocks.
Come on.
You've got water. You've
got-
got great characters. I mean, what is there that you don't want?
You're telling me you have never watched the opening of How to Train Your Dragon 2 and you're just like, ooh,
You know, that's a boring place. I wouldn't want to go there.
yeah.
That's what you say.
Yeah, that's what you say. This land will have one multi-launch family coaster.
The roller coaster seems to be very similar to Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure in that it seems to be a family coaster that takes you between different sets with launching elements in between.
I expect some good animatronics.
Yeah.
There will also be a Gerstlauer Skyfly, which is rumored to be themed around like dragon racing, which is like one of those flat rides where you can control like how much you spin and go upside down, which if you know me, I'm gonna be cranking that. I'm gonna be like that one lady that just keeps spinning.
In that video, yeah.
In that one video. There's also rumored to be a live show to be a copy of Beijing's How to Train Your Dragon show, which it might give me some goosebumps. Like seeing that toothless puppet fly, like I want to be that guy on the back. It looks so cool.
And finally, moving on to the land that we are most excited for. And if you've watched any of our videos, you know what land we're talking about.
It's a me, a Mario. That's not the voice. You'll have to wait to hear the voice.
It is Super Nintendo World.
This will be the largest version of this land, being bigger than both Hollywood and Japan's, not together, but like, you know, bigger than both of them separately.
This will feature both a clone of the Mario Kart Dark Ride that is featured in both Hollywood and in Japan, as well as the Yoshi Omnimover Flat Ride.
There will also be a new Donkey Kong land, which,
I mean,
come on.
come on,
Come
it's
on.
the monkey himself.
The monkey,
the
Seth
gentleman.
Rogen.
He's got his tie. He's got his. I mean, that's really all he's got on him. But he has that tie. He's professional.
Donkey Kong is gonna get a roller coaster, which is gonna have like this fake track that it looks like you're jumping, like just like in the games.
It emulates the games, how you jump from track to track, from side to side. It's going to be simulating that motion with this new patent that Universal has put out on this ride. And to be honest, this is probably the ride I'm most excited for, just because, one, it's Donkey Kong. I think it's going to have some great music in the ride. Two, it's Donkey Kong.
Come on.
And three, just that sensation of jumping from track to track, I think is going to feel amazing in the ride itself. And number four, it's Donkey Kong. I mean, what more can I say
You think
about that?
there's gonna be a walk-around character of Donkey Kong?
Oh, I wanna punch him in the face. But in a loving way. In a loving way.
But yeah.
What do you want to do with them?
Slap the cake.
Oh! Those are the lands that we are most excited for coming to Epic Universe in order of how excited we are for them.
Epic Universe is definitely gonna be like a game changer, at least in my opinion.
I think it definitely will be.
I mean, from the looks of it, there seems to be no just like meh land. It's just all just gonna go. It all packs a punch.
Yes.
You know.
You walking into the Epic Universe will have an amazing, life-changing experience.
I hope so.
You know what else will give you an amazing and life-changing experience?
Sign right there.
Wow. My eyes itchy.